Hi everyone, I hope you're having a lovely weekend. We have here our fifth now weekend cryptic crossword puzzle to be solving. We'll start as always with our Monday to Friday clues and then we'll spend a bit longer on the 5 new clues. So let's get started. Now our Monday clue was 6 across here for 4 letters. Intel set regularly is for the birds. Now regularly was our wordplay indicator. It's a letter selection indicator. It's asking us to look for a regular pattern, and those are the letters that we should select that follow that pattern. It doesn't necessarily tell us whether it's even or odd, but typically when we looking at the fodder, whether it's just one word or 2 words, regularly often means starting with the second letter and then every other letter after that. And the fodder here is Intel set. And if we go with our regular pattern, you have NEST, which gives us nest, which is something that's for the birds. For Tuesday's clue, we had uh, this one here, one down. Delegate disheartened about core of junk spice sauce. So here we went a bit sci-fi with the answer. Delegate disheartened means that we're disheartening the word delegate. We're deleting the middle letters, the heart of this word. That leaves us with D and E, and those letters are going to be about or surrounding, and so therefore we can put in D and E there, surrounding the core of junk, which is U and N. That's the core of that word, which altogether gives us June, a spice sauce, of course, in Frank Herbert's June novels. Here by spice sauce, of course, the planet June, or Arrakis, however you prefer. For Wednesday, we had a good anagram indicator. It was he dined beneath danger. Calmed, so questionable for 8. 1 across here. The anagram indicator in question was questionable. And so given we've got that, we've then just got to work backwards to see, well, what are the 8 letters that maybe come before it, and that's what we're anagramming. And that's what we are doing here with calmed so. And if we anagram that, we're looking for he dined beneath danger. Well, this is all about the Greek allegory of the sword of Damocles. Who was it who was invited to the banquet to then look up to see a sword dangling over them? So he dined beneath danger, Damocles. For Thursday, we had 3 down here for 8. Dated grid decal changed, accepting new army regulation. There's a lot going on in this clue. We've got abbreviations, we've got an insertion, we've got an anagram. How do we piece it all together? Well, decal changed. Changed is our anagram indicator. We're changing these 5 letters, decal. But interestingly, decal, or the rearrangement of those, is accepting, that is, we're going to be inserting new. And new is abbreviated to the letter N. And so this letter N is not going to be at the front or the end of this rearrangement. It's going to be in the middle of that somewhere. It's being accepted into it. And if we rearrange that so far, you get calend. And then we've got right at the end of this clue, army regulation, which is abbreviated to AR for calendar, and that is literally a dated grid. And then Friday, we had this for 5 across. Elder, oh, well, 5 across, 6 letters. Elder almost taken aback after new drug. Gets under your skin. Now we've got a reversal indicator here. We've got a reordering of how we understand the letters. We've also got some abbreviations and a deletion in here. So there's a lot going on. Elder almost, that's our deletion. So almost saying that this word elder is almost the full word, but it's probably missing a letter. In this case, it is the last letter, and that typically is the case, that you've spelt it out, but you've almost completed it, so the last letter is missing. I can't promise, as I say, it will always be like that. Maybe it's the first letter that might be missing. But in this case, we're going with the standard interpretation. So we have ELDE, and that's taken aback. That's our reversal indicator. Now, interestingly, then, these letters, if we've taken them aback, EDLE, will come after new drug. So we need to make sure that we're moving these letters to the end, or at least after what we've done with new drug. Because that's 4 letters, we can probably assume that new drug is the 2 letters remaining that we need. So if we put these in, we had reversal E, D, L, which we got from calendar E. New, as in with our previous clue, abbreviated to the letter N. And then drug, often abbreviated to the letter E, because by drug we mean, in cryptics usually, ecstasy, abbreviated to the letter E. And so we have needle, which literally gets under your skin. On to now the additional 5 clues that we had as part of this puzzle. And why not start with this 7 across, raw recurrent conflict for 3. Now, recurrent here is our reversal indicator, and you might think on the surface, how is that? Because recurrent would appear to be like a letter selection clue, that there's a recurrent or a regular pattern, and maybe we need to find that in conflicts, perhaps. But in actual fact, recurrent is a reversal indicator because it references biology. So I think it's called the recurrent vein, or something like that, to do with the blood circulatory system. That is the vein that takes the blood back to the heart, and so that's what it's referencing by recurrent. We've got raw recurrent, and that's backwards for 3 is conflict, that is to say war, being the answer there. So conflict, the definition. For 8 across, delivered oil cooking pan for begging Catholic for 5. Now, a tricky homophone indicator clue, because delivered here is our homophone indicator. It's not here the delivering of physically giving somebody something. It's in fact you've delivered maybe a speech, or delivered and you've been the recipient of hearing something there. Oil cooking pan, we've got to find a substitution for that we've heard a substitution for oil cooking pan, and that will give us the answer here for a definition of a begging Catholic. An oil cooking pan is a fryer, straightforwardly, and then it doesn't really matter how you spell fryer there. It could be IER or YER at the end, but importantly, we're getting for begging Catholic a friar. And historically, of course, friars, the main difference between a friar and a monk is a friar lives among the community, whereas a monk is in the enclaves. And friars, they lived, and maybe still do, the mendicant lifestyle, or a begging lifestyle. They rely on the voluntary donations of others, and they've completely devoted themselves to the Lord's work in the community. So that's what we mean there by begging Catholic. Now, 2 down, we've got Italian master, same rot disguised. So someone here not convinced that there is an actual Italian master. We've got some interesting pieces here. So Italian master, typically if you see something like French X, or Parisian Y, or Spanish Z, it means that we're taking that word and we're thinking about it in the language of where you would be hearing it, if it's in Paris, if it's in Spain. In this case, Italian master. I mean, really the shortcut to the answer here is, what's master in Italian? Which is maestro. And we get that here as the answer because same rot, disguised is our anagram indicator, and we're anagramming same rot, and you can see, you just count back 7 letters, and that gives us maestro is the answer. 4 down, another anagram indicator in the exact same vein here. A brute so lawless is a disorderly opponent. This one's slightly trickier because there's a couple of misdirects of what the answer might be. So disorderly could straightforwardly be an anagram indicator in any other clue. And for 8 letters, opponent might be what we're rearranging for the anagram indicator. Now, because, and this is the benefit of the context of having other letters to cross-reference, we know it's not going to be opponent because we've got S and R which don't appear in opponent. So perhaps then the definition is a disorderly opponent, and lawless is our actual anagram indicator. And then we work backwards. A brute so is our 8 letters that we're anagramming, and that gives us the word saboteur for a disorderly opponent. And to round off, 7 down for 3 letters, empty wagon sheltered me, score. So obviously things aren't going too well for me if I'm cheering over the fact that I'm able to shelter in a wagon. But how are we going to think about this? Empty wagon. So a deletion indicator, we're deleting the middle letters of wagon because it's empty. And that gives us W and N. So we've got the W there. And the N goes in at the end because that's sheltering, right? It's containing me. And so if you see any of these references like me or the setter, the puzzle setter, say in Private Eye, sometimes you will see Cyclops there written out in a clue, often abbreviated to either me or I, and in this case it is I for win, and to score is to win. That is to say, not in a sense of just generally or a specific score, but an exclamation of score, win. And there we go, we've solved the puzzle. So thank you so much for watching and playing along with the Morning Cryptic weekend puzzles. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, especially because Monday to Friday we have our daily clues that get harder as the week goes on, culminating in our weekend puzzle. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great week ahead.